I think the way he's leaving office has been, frankly, pretty terrible. He's going to be remembered for a few things. But politically, it's mostly for when he was vice president, he and Obama sort of ushering in the Trump era initially. And then as he's leaving office as president, bringing back Trump and Trumpism stronger and more popular than ever. Today, Biden has like a 61% disapproval, and Trump is over a 50% approval and more popular, and his ideology is more popular than it's ever been. If everything you say is true, the Democrats should have had no trouble getting reelected in this election, yet they were.
It's an issue of a communications failure.
I know, and for Democrats, it's always been about communication and no introspection about the policies that led to him leaving office as one of the most unpopular presidents. When I watch this tonight, I remain astonished that he, his family, and other people around him thought he could ever run for another term. I mean, there's no way he could serve another 6 months, let alone another 4 years. The fact that they pursued that farce for as long as they did, to me, remains one of the most astonishing things about this term.
So that's once again CNN's Scott Jennings bringing the receipts. Bumbling Biden leaves office with both a fumbling farewell speech and with his lowest approval ratings ever. Talk about a complete and total disaster. We're going to focus on two instructive moments in that farewell fiasco and see precisely why they both reveal the end of the Democrat era and the rise of a new MAGA age. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor. 4 days, baby. 4 days until the beginning of the new MAGA era. So if you want a front row seat on all the latest developments of the rise of a new conservative age, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Let's have a little fun here. In the comments below, let us all know, what was Biden's worst blunder of his presidency? I know that's going to be hard, but let us know in the comments below. It may, in fact, be impossible, but if you could pick a single disaster of his presidency, what would it be? Let us know in the comments below. It should make for some fun, albeit rather sad reading, but fun given what's about to happen in 4 days. Before we dive in here, gang, let's give a huge shout out to a true patriot company that's standing up for our values of faith, family, and freedom, and that's Patriot Mobile. I am a proud partner with Patriot Mobile because they're on the front lines fighting for the First and Second Amendments, the sanctity of life, and our military and first responder heroes. Take a stand for conservative causes and put America first by switching to Patriot Mobile today. It's so easy. You get the same nationwide coverage as the big providers because Patriot Mobile operates across all three major networks. Plus, they back their service with a coverage guarantee. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team will find the best plan for your needs. You could keep your number, you could keep your phone, or you could upgrade. Go to patriotmobile.com/Turley Talks or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. Right now, get a whole month absolutely free when you use the offer code Turley Talks. So don't get fooled by other providers pretending to share your values or have the same coverage. They don't and they can't. Join me. Switch to America's only Christian conservative mobile provider, Patriot Mobile, today. It was one last train wreck. After 4 years of one debacle after another, from the horrifically botched Afghanistan withdrawal to the never-ending inflation and the complete failure of Bidenomics, from the disaster, the intentional disaster at the southern border, to the complete implosion of the liberal international order with Ukraine and Gaza, bumbling Biden finally gave his long-wished for, his long-anticipated farewell address. His painful delivery of his speech came under the specter of his worst approval rating yet. A whopping 61% of the nation considers the Biden presidency to be an absolute failure. 6 in 10. The speech was a perfect microcosm of his pathetic presidency. He struggled through his speech, mangling words, swallowing syllables, slaughtering prepositions. He took credit for what others had so obviously accomplished, like the Gaza ceasefire. I mean, not even Jimmy Carter took credit for the release of the hostages on the inauguration day of his opponent. And the rest of the speech felt like being cornered by a senile old man garbling out mindless rants, all the while having to endure his painful bad breath, not to mention the occasional spray from his sputtering oatmeal-crusted lips. And as if his delivery weren't embarrassing enough, whoever was running the live feed accidentally showed their operating system, suggesting that the whole thing was pre-recorded. Now, in fairness, it may have just been an image file, that they were retrieving. But again, I mean, it's just another indicator of what a mess this administration has been over these last bleak 4 years. Now, for me, there were two key moments in that slurred speech that just highlights how utterly pathetic and projectionist Biden and his underlings have become. The first involves Biden's rant about a rising oligarchy taking over our nation. Check this out.
I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. This is a dangerous concentration, and that's a dangerous concentration of power.
I'm sorry, the dangerous what? What did you just try to say? The dangerous power? What? Again, it's this incoherence that has just plagued his presidency. I'm sorry, keep going.
In the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. The dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead.
Yeah, this has got to be one of the most blatant attempts at projection I think I've ever encountered from a Democrat. And that's saying something. They are the projectionist party. I think that's how Victor Davis Hanson put it. They are the projectionist party. Biden is warning us about oligarchs. Biden is the same Biden who just gave George Soros the Medal of Freedom. Soros, who spent the last decade trying to buy off our urban criminal justice system. This is the same Biden who got elected in 2020 after Mark Zuckerberg poured $500 million, that's billion with a B, to turn out the Democrat vote in key swing states. Forbes did a study that found that billionaires back Kamala by nearly 2-1. And the answer for that is easy, because Kamala could be bought, whereas Trump can't. Kamala could be bought, Trump can't. The simple fact of the matter is that it was during the Obama years that we began to see more power and wealth accumulate in the hands of fewer and fewer people. In the year 2015, right, mind you, an Obama year, 2015, the bonuses for Wall Street CEOs, just bonuses, totaled $30 billion. Gang, that's twice the total amount made by all minimum wage earners combined. The bonuses of CEOs in Wall Street were twice the amount of what was earned by all minimum wage earners combined, which is about $15 billion. We have never seen so much power and wealth accumulate in the hands of so few than we have when Democrats are in power. It's what scholars call neo-feudalism, and it's being driven by the neoliberal policies of globalists like Obama and Biden, not nationalist populists like Trump. Nationalist populists want to break up and dismantle neo-feudalism. All the while, liberal globalists like Biden doing everything they possibly can to try to protect it. And in order to protect their own liberal globalist oligarchy, they need to be able to control the media narrative. And this is what, predictably, Biden complained about next.
I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech industrial complex that could pose real dangers for our country as well. Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation, enabling the abuse of power. The free press is crumbling. Editors are disappearing. Social media is giving up on fact-checking. The truth is smothered by lies told for power and for profit. We must hold the social platforms accountable to protect our children, our families, and our very democracy from the abuse of power.
Now, given the history of presidential farewell addresses, what you just heard there was shockingly petty. I mean, Rich Lowry of National Review pointed that out in his tweet. He contrasted George Washington's final warning to his fellow Americans about forging entangling international alliances, whereas Biden warned, I don't like Meta's new moderation policy. I mean, it was shockingly trivial and proof that the speech was at least in part written by a pathetically petulant progressive on Biden's staff. But that said, Sean Fleetwood of the Federalist, I think, said it best. Biden basically exited office promoting the very same big tech censorship that got him elected in the first place. Bingo. Or better, bullseye. Forget the fact that it's not the government's job to curate information based on faux claims of disinformation. It's called the First Amendment, Mr. Biden. The Constitution bars the government from interfering in the free flow of information. That would be something China would do, or North Korea, and increasingly, unfortunately, Western Europe. They don't have a First Amendment. But notwithstanding the constitutional restraints, Biden is simply upset that the very censorship regime that helped him get into office in 2020 is collapsing all around him. Lest we forget, the FBI conspired with Twitter and Facebook to censor stories about the Hunter Biden laptop. 51 supposed intelligence experts backed that conspiracy up. It was Russian disinformation. You see, the vast majority of the nation now recognizes that the government is disinformation, that the legacy media is disinformation, and that with the rise of the internet, we now have the same access to the same information as anyone at CNN has, which means that we're now in a position to fact check them. And when we fact check them, they turn around and try to discredit that fact checking by calling it fake and fabricated. I mean, think about it. The same people who told us that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation are calling us fake. Sorry, no one's buying it anymore. Obviously, November 5th proved that. Their time is over. A new era really is rising. A conservative MAGA world is replacing the old liberal globalist order. The age of Biden has come to an end. Welcome to the age of Trump.
Many people have told me that God